Hello and welcome, everybody. I hope everybody is having a great week so far. We are going to do some updates. We got updates in Riley Strain in the case of him, and we've got some updates in the Chad Daybell case, which is really mind-boggling to me. We're going to quickly go through the couple of court documents I have here regarding Chad Daybell, and then we are going to jump into the Riley Strain. Give some shout outs. Hello, Nana. Des, sister, how are you? Miss Always Right, Ryan. You're very welcome. I'm glad to bring it to you, and I appreciate you guys being here. Emily, hello from Colorado Springs. Butterfly Dana, hello, my dear. Juror 11 in the house. Red fingernails, hello, hello. Vera Ray, good morning, good afternoon, actually. Lady D, hello, hello, hello. Get. Good to see ya. We're going to get going on this. Dragonfly, hello from Michigan. Let me know, you guys, where you're from down below in the comments. I love to hear it. Emily, I'm glad you got to catch it too. Juror 11 says, guess what has happened here? We have a bull loose and took out a... Oh, no. Oh, no. Yes, please smash that like button on your way in. Cat H, hello, and you're welcome. Miss Always Right, Ryan. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you. Big hearts, much love. Thank you. We got Oracle Blinn. We got Ohio. We got Michigan. We got Tennessee. Lady D from Tennessee. It kind of rhymes. Again, thank you so much, Miss Always Right, Ryan. I appreciate your support. Okay, let me get this set up. And like I said, we are going to go over quickly the Chad Daybell stuff. Let's get it out of the way because I went through some documents and it's like, oh no. What is this that has been hidden? As we know, a lot of things in the Idaho 4 case, everything under seal. Chad Daybell case, Lori Vallow case, there's some things that have been under seal. And lately, you guys, there's been a ton of stuff being put under seal. Get 100 sec. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you. Big hearts, hugs, hearts. Thank you so much. It really does help the channel, so thank you. So yes, a lot of stuff has been kept under seal, and I'm starting to see with these last filings, and don't worry, you guys, we're going to get to the Riley Strain. Excuse me. But there's been a lot of stuff that's been coming out in the Chad Daybell case. As you guys know, we are going to be covering that live right here on the channel every day of the trial. You'll be able to watch it right here. I did mention that I would probably only cover the first day of voir dire because it's going to be the same every day with the questioning. But I wanted to see the questions that were going to be being asked, not only from the defense, but also from the prosecution, because that's going to give us a lot of information of maybe what's going to be coming out. But we got a slap in the face when it comes to that. So let's go over this quickly. Again, thank you so much for your $100 sec. I appreciate you to the moon. And also, Miss Always Right, Ryan. Okay, so let me just put this so people don't think we're not going to cover it. So I'm going to bring up the first document. I'm going to just share the entire screen. Okay, so here we are. This has really got my head spinning. Like, what is going on here? Hello, Chris, Dacia Duke, Charissa, Nana, where we go when we go all. Hello, everybody coming in. Lady D, everybody coming in. Hello. So this is what's got me going. Let me just make it full screen for you guys. So, and I know the Riley thing is kind of blocking it maybe a little bit, but I want to put that there so people don't think that we're just doing the Chad Daybell. Let's look at this. State's notice of response to notice of alibi. What does that mean, Willow? What that means is Chad Daybell has filed a notice of alibi. What? A notice of alibi. So let's see what this says. It's not going to say much. You know why? They want it sealed. But they say, okay, so this was filed on the 11th. The state, through the Fremont County prosecuting attorney, hereby provides notice that the state has supplied counsel for the defendant and the court copies of the state's response to notice of alibi. Yep. So Chad Daybell has put in a notice of alibi. So I went looking for it, you guys. And all I have found is just a couple days later. Let me just see if I can make this bigger. Here we go. Whoops, too big. Come on, get with the program here, Willow. A motion to seal, okay? So the state of Idaho puts before the court a motion to seal its supplemental authority for the state's motion in limine for introduction of statement of Tammy Daybell. What is this? Everything's under seal. They've also sealed this. What is the statement of Tammy Daybell? They want it sealed because in the interest of privacy or predominant over the public's interest in disclosure. 2, the sealing said documents is the least restrictive measure consistent with the privacy interests at issue. Sealing these documents during the pendency of this criminal investigation is in the best interest of justice and will preserve the right to a fair trial. The state therefore respectfully requests that the said documents be sealed until there is further order of the court. Hello, Melmac. Hello, everybody coming in. Emily, hello. So, what is this statement of Tammy Daybell? We know Tammy Daybell is deceased. Did they find something that she had written regarding the kids, maybe? Regarding something she was told? Did she find something and wanted to maybe investigate it a little bit more? Is this what, did she maybe find whatever Chad gave her to make her so ill? We don't know. Okay. The next one. Court to seal state's motion to compel. I believe this is in regards the state's motion to compel. I think this has to do with the alibi. I think, I'm not sure, but I think, because they want it under seal. And then the final one here is an order. This order, I'm not going to go through it all, you guys, because I want to get to the Riley strain. But this order is saying that I don't think the voir dire is going to be covered. There will be no audio or video transmission of prospective jurors, and any portion of questioning that is appropriate to conduct in camera will not be open for viewing in the courtroom. So what they are saying, there's going to be questions and this and that they are going to be asking jurors that they want to keep from the public. So they do not want it publicized. So the court finds that making available for victims and the public a means to observe those portions of the voir dire that are not appropriate is an important right to protect. If you guys want to go through and read this, I will just go through it slowly so you can go back. It just talks about that Most of this is going to be hidden from us anyway. So I don't think they're going to be covering the jury selection. We'll have to wait and see, but I feel like a lot of it is going to be closed. So I will scroll through this. So if you guys want to go back and watch it on the replay, you can go back and watch it. And you can pause it as you read it. But that's basically what this says. And this is the 15th day of March. Okay. So that is the stuff for Chad Daybell. We are going to move on now to Riley. So I'm going to start, you guys. Let me just take this off the screen now because we are going now to cover the Riley strain. I want to start at one of the first videos. Okay, so let's hide this. We've gone full screen so you guys can see it. This is the first video, okay? And I'm doing it this way so we can see when he leaves that bar, okay? And we'll get to what's on the screen right now. We'll get to that. We want to see what he looked like as he was leaving the bar. Then remember, he was walking alongside that building and he's stumbling and whatnot. And then he falls in the parking lot. And then the next video we have is the cop talking to him. We're going to go through it all, and then we're going to go to maps, and we're going to discuss this, okay? Because as I'm seeing here, she's got a rope tied to her. There's spots where there's flat, like when you come to, anyway, we'll get to that. Let's go to the very first video right here. We see him right here. He is right here. And I don't know why this is buffering, but it is. Yeah. And it seems like he says something or almost bangs into these girls here. Okay. Okay, so let's pause that one. So that's the first one. The next one we're going to go to, I'm going to get some of these off the screen. Here is the next one because I think that's what's slowing down the videos. Here is the next one that we're going to watch. This is when you see him come walking down here. There's a parking lot over here. He kind of stumbles and falls. Let's watch this one. Okay, you can see him right here. He's kind of like bent over. We don't know if he stumbled and fell before this because this is the next video after we see him leaving the bar. Okay, he kind of leans up against the wall here, continues, and then he stumbles in a parking lot. Let's watch. See him kind of stumble there and bang up against the wall. See how he's walking, you guys? Stumbling all over the place. Look at him. Okay, you'll see him coming over from over here. There, he's running. And he falls. Boom. Right? We see him get up. Nobody stops to help this poor kid. Nobody. Like, if I would have been one of these cars, I would have pulled in and said, hey, bud, are you okay? Like, nobody stops to help this kid. Nobody. Yeah. So did he hit his head? Now, what is interesting, you guys, is this next one. Okay? The next one is interesting. I think it's this one. Let's just see. So you can see like the wall is way back over here somewhere. When you come over that wall, you kind of fall a bit and onto this ledge. Okay? Then as you go down, there's probably another 4-foot drop. It looks like maybe 3-4 feet. But you can see all this here. This is like a clothesline that somebody set up here with clothes on it. You can see the clothes hanging. This is a tents all back here. So there is a big area here of flat land where people are camping out. You can see somebody's shoe down here. Oh, I don't know if you guys watch Dolly Vision. He would go crazy over this cone. I just find that guy so funny. There's other things that they've got here. There's a hat here. This looks like some kind of garbage can. There's another, this looks like an old beer keg. There's other stuff. There's all kinds of stuff here. You see like they've put cardboard here to go down. It looks like you can kind of walk down here. It's not just a sudden, huge 20-foot drop. It drops for about, like, if you're on the sidewalk part going off over that rail there's probably about a 4 to 5 foot drop. I've seen some pictures of it. I did ask the person if I could share those pictures because there are people that were there searching, and I never got a response back. So and if I do get a response back from them, because they took pictures of all of this down there. If I do, they probably got bombarded with emails. If I do get those pictures, I will show them if I'm allowed to. I don't take somebody else's stuff unless it's like news, unless I've asked an okay first. I feel like that's just the respectable thing to do. So in those pictures, it shows it's like a maybe 4.5 foot drop, and you land on something like this. And this is a pretty big area. It looks small here, but it's fairly wide. It's about, I'd say maybe 15 feet, maybe, before it drops off another 3 to 4 feet. And then down here, there's huge areas. It's like a big, huge ledge. And I will show you how big that ledge actually is when we go to maps. So keep this area here where these tents are all set up. Keep that in mind when I show you on the maps. I tried to go back to like maybe a fall view of this in the fall, so the leaves weren't covering everything. It is very steep, but for somebody to just go over that wall and fall straight down and into the river, there's no way it happened. There's no way it happened. He would have fell. He would have landed on this ledge here first. And if he stumbled off here, he would have landed right in the camping area. Okay? And it's full of trash. It's full of junk. There's trees, there's branches. Look there's broken stuff. There's all kinds of junk, and he would have got caught up. He wouldn't just go over that ledge and fall into the water. A lot of people are saying, well, his bank card fell out of his pocket. From what his sister said, or a family member, he had something that his parents had bought him, and it's to keep all your cards in, so to protect the black stripe on the cards, it's very hard to pull them out of there. So he either took it out of there or somebody did. Okay? I don't know what happened here. We're going to do an updated read, because what I believe happened is he stumbled onto this camp, and hey, buddy, well, you know, we'll take care of you, but you got to give us money for booze, or you got to give us money for this or that. I don't know if Uber or Skip the Dishes, whatever it is there, if they deliver alcohol, like bring it here. We got a credit card or a debit card, whatever, we'll pay you. Was he told to get some kind of alcohol? Is there anything that would have been open around there where he could have brought alcohol, or a bank machine where he could have, well, come on, we'll take you to the bank machine. We want money for the D word, DRUGS. Anything could have happened. We don't know, right? I doubt it. I doubt he would have that in his shirt pocket. His Apple Watch has not been found, nor has his cell phone. Now, both of those can be tracked, and I'm assuming because he had an Apple Watch, he had an Apple phone. You need an Apple phone to use the Apple Watch, okay, for all the functions of the Apple Watch. A family has said that there is also on the Apple Watch, if you fall, there's an app on there that it says, we've noticed you've fallen. do you need help? And you've got to answer within a certain amount of seconds or whatever, or they dispatch help to you. So there's all kinds of different things that is being looked into, and I'm sure the police are looking into that, you guys. So I'm not going to speculate on any of that. I know they got the last ping. Like I said, we're going to go to maps, and then we will come back to some of this. There's lots of ways where they can find what exactly is going on. What they did say, and this is another thing that's on an Apple Watch, I believe, and the Apple phone, that they can tell whether it's just the battery that died or if the phone was turned off. And apparently an Apple Watch will continue to work because you can wear it in a pool and everything, probably for hours before, I don't know how long it could stay underwater before it goes kerplunk. But I'm assuming because you can wear it swimming and stuff that you can wear it for at least some amount of time, right? But if it's like, boom, it pings and then it's off, he's either turned it off or somebody has turned it off. So that is telling me they either took his stuff, and it came out in my read before any of this that he had been robbed. So did they take his stuff and then toss him in the river? We don't know. We don't know. So anybody out there that's saying they know what happened, then they're part of it, because law enforcement, any information that's come out, even from family and friends, people searching, have not said, oh yeah, somebody told us they robbed him and threw him in the river. We don't know what happened. All I'm going by is what came out in my read. It's kind of adding up here now. You know what I mean? So let's watch this one. Do you see how big that area is? Look at, even all along here, people are camping along this ledge. That first ledge is only like a 4-foot drop. And in the video where he's talking to the cops, he says something after that to somebody. I believe it's somebody that was in this area. I kind of hear party. Let me get my earbuds in. Where's my earbuds? And I'm going to show you what I mean. I don't think it's in this clip, but if it is, I will have to go back and reshare it and add the audio, because I'm sharing this without audio. See, there's the rail. Okay. There's a ledge. Now, this isn't in the exact same area as back here. Okay. This is the other side of the bridge, but see how there's ledges? Now, this area here, it goes down steep, but this isn't the area where he was first seen. This is the second bridge. Okay. Okay, can you guys hear that or no? Put a 1 in the chat if you guys could hear that. Okay, so they were just basically saying about the people that were going searching, and here is the card that they found. I don't think there's much more after that. It's just talking. So we're going to get out of this one, and I'm going to have to reshare again with audio. Give me a second. Okay. Here it is here. Okay, let me go full screen. Okay, let me share this. I've got to share it with audio. This one here, share audio. Okay, so here is the other one. Thank you so much, Rose. I appreciate you. So after we see him leaving the bar, we see him on video. He kind of goes across by that construction area, stumbles a little. He's stumbling all over the place, right? He stumbles again. He looks at those girls and says something to those two girls. One was wearing a cowboy hat, and then kind of takes off from there as if somebody said something to him. I don't think the two girls said anything to him, but I think another male that maybe was with those two girls said something to him. And he ran thinking maybe somebody was chasing him. That's when we see him stumble and fall in the parking lot. Then we see him walking alongside alongside the wall, stumbling in the parking lot, right? Now, the next video that we have seen is this one, and this is from a police body cam. The cop was called to this area. You can see his cop car parked across the street over here. He was called to this area because in the video, when you see this back window of the truck is smashed out. So he was called there for a smash and grab. Okay. Okay, we're not mentioning other channels here, you guys. So please refrain from doing so. Yeah, this is like Dragonfly says, does anybody remember the story about a Nashville scrapyard where they found missing body parts? Like that was, I don't think that has anything to do with this case. There's a lot of people going off on really whacked out theories. I'm not here for that. I just, I want to stick to what the facts are. Dragonfly 17 says, I think there's something weird about this. Why would a friend or friends go back to their hotel, their friend's not there, and just go to bed? Yes. I have other issues. It's like your friend gets ejected from the bar. Why didn't you just walk him back to the fucking hotel? You know what I mean? Why didn't you just take him back to the hotel and go back to the bar if that's what you wanted to do? Right? Why would you leave your drunk friend if he was in that bad a shape, which he looked like he was in really bad shape? Why would you leave him out there by himself? You guys aren't from there. You know what I mean? Why would you leave him there by yourself, by himself? That's not a friend, right? A lot of people are saying that this is a person. It's not. It's not. There's no person there. It's somebody's covered this already on another channel. It's a sign propped up with something. Anyway, this is not a person. This is when the cop first shows up. Riley hasn't even come this way yet. Yes, that's what I was just saying. I was trying to explain. The cop was called to this area, and it just happened to be when Riley was walking by. He was called because this red truck here has this back window smashed out. This is not a silhouette. Okay, we're going to go to that press conference as soon as it starts. Can you guys tell me where I can find? I think I know where I can find it. I think it's on this page here that I'm on already. If it starts, we're going to go to that. Please, somebody put stop signs in the chat if it starts while I'm going through this. Okay. So let's watch this video. Okay. There is Riley. Okay. He's got his Apple Watch on. You can see it right here. I don't see anything in his other hand. He could have it in this hand. It's kind of dark, but I do see his Apple Watch on right there. So whatever happened to Riley, he didn't get jumped. Not yet, anyway. He still has his Apple Watch on. Okay. Now, Riley sees the cop. The cop is on kind of like the sidewalk here. We're going to see this in maps where Riley is walking. To me, it looks like he's walking because the bushes and that are over here. To me, it kind of looks like he's walking towards those bushes. Okay. Now, listen very carefully. I've got this up as high as I can. Right now, Riley just said, I will back it up like just to here. Riley says, hello. The cop says, hey there. How are you? Riley says, I'm good. How are you? Then, like maybe 3 seconds later, you hear Riley say something else. And to me, it sounds like party. Like, where's the party? That's what it sounds like to me. I've listened to this a million times. It's almost like he sees somebody over there by the bushes, and it's almost like, where's the party? You know, he's trying to be cool because there's a cop there and everything. And let's just see, how are you doing, sir? I'm good. How are you? Good. So the cop asks him, how are you doing, sir? He says, I'm good. How are you? The cop says, good. 2 seconds or 3 seconds later, you hear Riley say something else. It's not the cop radio. It's not the cop speaking. It is Riley. So if you're wearing earphones, crank them up. You got volume, you're on the computer, crank it up. Let's listen.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Okay, you hear that? Right at like the 47-second mark. Listen again. No, wait, we went too far. Hang on.
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Did you hear that? Okay, presser starting. Okay, we'll come back to this, you guys. Let's stop sharing this. We're going to come back to this. Don't worry. Okay. Okay, where is the presser being held, you guys? Because I'm on the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department site and I don't see it. Where am I going to find it, you guys? Yeah, I hear party too. Let me just see if I can find it. Okay, let me go and find it here. Okay, here it is. I got it. I got it. Okay, let me get back to studio so I can share this with you. Okay, let me make it big. Make sure the volume's on. Okay, let's go.
As we try to get more organized for our family and see if we can't bring some more clues to light. We're very grateful for everyone that's done everything so far. We ask that you continue We ask that you work and help with us to become more organized, because we don't want individuals out there alone without us knowing, so that we want to make sure everybody's careful. Um, Safety is the number one priority. We appreciate more than you'll ever know the outpouring that we've received from the community, from the press, and everyone else involved. Our goal is still to bring Riley home. We feel that is still a very pliable goal. We feel like Dave and his team and the volunteers that he knows are very skilled and will help bring this for us. This time, I'm going to turn it over to Dave and let him kind of bring some information to light. If we have questions at the end, we'll be more than happy to address, but I do ask that we have a little bit of courtesy for what we're going through right now, and give us just, a few questions, and we'll again meet as we have more information. Okay. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, sir. My name is David Flagg. For those who don't have a spelling, last name is F like Foxtrot, Lagg. And I am the National Director of Operations for the United Cajun Navy. Those of you who may not know, people who in the audience that may not know, we are a disaster response organization. We respond to natural disasters, all over the country. We're formed during Hurricane Katrina when New Orleans was flooded so badly. We had just a bunch of good old boys that had boats and took it upon themselves to go out into the waters of New Orleans and start rescuing people, taking them supplies, et cetera, et cetera. Fast forward to today, our organization has been to almost every major natural disaster in this country, to include Hurricane Michael,
Okay, get on with the Riley thing.
Texas wildfires. We have people there now. The fires in Maui. So that's kind of an brief overview of what we do. We also obviously get involved in missing persons cases. We do search and rescue, and focus on
now is not the time
supplies of whatever nature the people might need them, food, clothing, etc. I was to touch on the reason that we're here today. We were contacted by Riley's family and asked to step up and provide some more resources to this search activity. And we have been pretty much involved from the very first day that we heard about it, which I believe was on Monday, would have been the 10th, 11th, whatever day that was. We've had an airboat here on the river. We've had people involved behind the scenes and following this and understanding what's been happening here with regard to the search efforts of individuals. We felt that it was probably a real good idea for us to step in and organize a structured and organized search activity for this. We also have, today we have a hovercraft coming in and a pilot to run that craft. If he gets there early enough, we will be on the river today. And if not, we'll start early tomorrow morning and spend a good bit of time on the river here, assisting in that search. We had an airboat here, and that individual will be returning, I believe, Friday, possibly Saturday. I would reiterate what Riley's father said. Our main focus, obviously, is to find Riley. Our secondary focus is to ensure the safety of the people who are out here searching. If we have folks just out on their own on these very steep and treacherous terrain on the riverbank and other treacherous aspects of this search, we don't know. We don't know what's going on with you. It's not safe. It's real dangerous. So I would encourage any volunteers who have been here and are searching to please come under the umbrella of the United Cajun Navy search. We will be putting together a structured and organized ground search. at some point in the near future. I don't have the specific information on that yet, but I will make that information known once I have it. If you do intend to come out and search with us or to continue to search on your own, there are some safety aspects that you need to know. Number one, you need to be wearing some sturdy shoes. You need to have some heavy gloves on and some nitrile or rubber gloves as well. There's a lot of garbage and debris and needles and bodily fluids of one kind or another that are on these riverbanks that you really don't want to be exposed to. So that's what I would ask of you, just for your own safety. And I would also reiterate what Riley's father said. If you all do have questions for the family, please be very, very sensitive about the nature of this incident. As you can imagine, those of you who have children or don't have children, I guess the best advice I could give would be, don't ask a question of the family that you would not want to be asked yourself. That's pretty much all I have to say. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer. At this point, there is no evidence that I'm aware of that would indicate foul play. You know, y'all know how it goes on Facebook and social media. There's been a lot of chatter on there about the fact that Riley's debit card was found on the riverbank, and that is prima facie evidence of criminal activity, something of that nature there. I don't agree with that. You know, obviously, I'm not the investigator. We have a couple of representatives from MMPD here, and I'm sure they have something to say about it. But I would very seriously, at this point, doubt that there's been any criminal activity.
Yes, we feel like they've handled it well. We know that there's an excessive amount of information coming into them that they're having to dissect. You know, it's hard as a parent, as we are now 10, 11, 12 days into this, and we're trying to, you know, find Riley, come up with, you know, an outcome here. And so, yes, as the days drag on, we are frustrated. We know they're doing their job. We've seen what they've got, you know.
We know they're doing things that we haven't been informed about. That's probably with any investigation like this. There's details that they're not going to share with us that we're sure they're working on too. We don't know what all for sure exactly what they've done as far as searches goes. We don't know some of the information, but that's not to say they haven't done it.
Exactly. And, you know, Dave is kind of an extra resource for us, a point of contact with his foundation, his group, to be able to help us so that we can focus and make sure that we're doing everything as best as possible. It's been hard being from out of town, being from 6.5 hours away, to put a structured program together when you don't know everywhere that you're at. You don't know the lay of the land as well. You don't have your family and your resources that are in your hometown to be able to help guide you and lean on to build a organized search. And that has bothered us, and Dave is our answer.
The only thing really that we have seen with our own eyes is in the bar footage would be Riley and his friend going down the stairs just before he exited the bar. His friend turns around and goes back up the stairs. We're not focusing on a lot of the stuff that happened earlier. We're still pushing forward, and we're trying to figure out where he's at now.
I am not able to comment on that at this point. I know that they're still digging through information, so hopefully they'll be able to provide information here, as we move forward. We know that Riley was possibly texting and communicating with multiple people. Again, we don't know the exact people. We don't know the exact timeline, or who the last person was.
Anything right now would kind of be speculation on our part.
Yeah.
To exactly what that was.
No need to muddy the water. So I'm sure the detectives, as information becomes available that is pertinent like that, they will provide to us, and we will share as we can.
And again, we have a couple representatives from the police department here, and that may be a question that you could ask them. Before they come up, there's just, anybody else have questions for the family before I interrupt?
I do. Michelle, the last time you and I spoke, you told me he was here with 15 of his fraternity brothers. Not one of them left the bar to go with him. I know you were close out with some of his friends as well. What have those conversations been like since?
With the boys, I mean, they're heartbroken also. I mean, he's their best friend. And we love these boys like our own. And it's just as hard on them as it is on us.
And right now, we really are focusing on
bringing Riley home.
his last point.
He's my best friend. He's everything.
Is that it? So we are an all volunteer organization. So people who work with us, volunteer with us, have jobs, have families. And so there's at any given time, that number is going to fluctuate. Sometimes it might be 2 people and sometimes it might be 200 people. At this point, I am the only boots on the ground for the United Cajun Navy, and that is going to change here very shortly. We're going to get as many people who are associated with our organization involved in this search. The ground search is what I'm referring to. We have a couple representatives from MMPD who'd like to speak with you, but before they do, there's one thing I do want to say. And if I hurt somebody's feelings out there, oh well. I'm a retired Pennsylvania State Trooper. There has been a lot of chatter on social media about the police are or are not handling this investigation properly. They should have done this. They should have done that. If you're not a trained police officer, your speculation is just that, just speculation. I've been in constant contact with Detective Chandler, and I know that they have been making every effort that they can to bring this investigation, this search to a close. So please, you folks out there on social media, think real hard about what you're going to post before you post it. And that goes as well for posts about the family and about this investigation. The family doesn't really need to see posts on social media that say, well, maybe there's a serial killer out there and that's where he chunked him in the water. That's not cool. Anybody got a question for me? Yes, ma'am. Give me the first part of that again. I missed it. Yes, ma'am. Well, like I said, we have 2 boats coming, and that's going to be obviously our water search. This terrain presents a very, very difficult challenge for a ground search. I'm sure y'all have seen on TV that, when there's a field or a wooded area that you have a line of people 2-3 feet apart, everybody just walking through. This is not going to be that. Also, the terrain is going to be very difficult to use any sort of tracking dog. Again, just because it's going to be very difficult to walk. So my goal, and part of the reason that I came down here early today, is so I could get my eyes on the terrain. I hadn't seen it yet, and formulate a plan for that. The plan right now is very loose and informal. We want all the volunteers to meet up with me before we go out. And probably about the only way that really and effectively be able to do this is put people in 2s and 3s, potentially 4s. We are working on getting some supplies, ropes, etc., that are going to enable these people to safely traverse this terrain. If there's anybody out there who would like to contribute to that effort, please feel free to go on our website. Thank you, which is UnitedCajunNavy.org. And there's a donate button. You can feel free to donate there. But that's my next step, is to get the supplies and the equipment that's needed to be able to conduct this search safely. And that's, as far as the plan goes, that's all we have right now. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yeah. Yes and yes to your questions. At this point, we're going to focus on the riverbank area and the water, because that appears to be the last place where Riley was seen. We have the last video footage that we have of him, I believe, is from this camera. Is that right? From this camera on this building here, and video footage from surveillance cameras all around the area do not indicate that he ever came up this way or up the steps by the courthouse or anything of that nature there. The last video is of him going underneath this bridge right here, and that's pretty much it. Now, that doesn't mean that we won't do some canvassing of the homeless encampments and the downtown area where there may be other homeless people, simply to see if we can pull out any other information. Speaking of which, if there is anybody out there that has any information about this, please step forward and get in touch with me. You can reach out to me on our Facebook page, which is simply United Cajun Navy on Facebook. If you are scared or concerned about the nature of your information, come and get hold of me anyway. All right. Our main goal here is to bring Riley home.
Is there like an email that potential volunteers for this help, or should they just contact message you on Facebook?
Yes, you can message us on Facebook, and our email address is info@UnitedCajunNavy.org, and that's United Cajun is CAJUNNAVY, UnitedCajunNavy.org. Anybody else? Gentlemen?
I'm Detective Anthony Chandler. This is Sergeant Bob Nilsson. We're with the Homicide Cold Case Unit for Metro Nashville Police, and we've been heading up the investigation into Riley's disappearance. As Mr. Flagg said, we've been in contact with him since the very beginning, coordinating what we could as far as with the family's active participation in locating Riley. That has been, and to this day remains, the top priority. There has not been any evidence that has come forward to change this to an ongoing criminal investigation at this time. Regardless of what else has been put out there, there are several leads that we are following up with on a constant basis, and an influx of information that is coming forward at all times. We are going through every single piece of that information, but the priority remains locating Riley.
As he said, I'm Sergeant Nielsen. I gave a briefing to our chain of command all the way up to Chief Drake yesterday. They're well aware of where we are with the investigation at this point, as well as the resources. We do have our boat going back in the water this afternoon, along with members of the Urban Search and Rescue Team that will be combing the area, researching the area. It's been mentioned already today, and it's also been asked, things like, why was that card found and why didn't we find it? As Mr. Flagg pointed out, there's a lot of variables in these investigations, and if you've not been skilled or trained or experienced in these investigations, you don't understand a lot of these things. As Don Aaron put out the other day, when we start a missing person investigation, we're looking for a person, we're looking for a body. We're not looking for small pieces of evidence. Can we miss some things? Sure. But our primary goal is to find Mr. Strain and bring him home safely. Think of it like a large crime scene. A lot of times you have to deal with the victims first before you can go back and start looking for those precise pieces of evidence. Okay, that's kind of our focus here. We're looking for Mr. Strain, then we go back and look again. And because these two ladies over here were kind enough to volunteer their time and helped us by finding that, now we can do a more refined search with our urban search and rescue, which is what they're going to be doing this afternoon. And as Mr. Flagg said, with a lot of the volunteers, if you're coming down to volunteer, understand it is very treacherous terrain. That's why we're using urban search and rescue and not just anyone on the street, because our people are trained, they're equipped, they have everything that they need to conduct these searches. You won't even see a patrol officer go to some of these areas that are more treacherous. Why? Because they don't have the rappelling equipment and things of that nature. So we're utilizing all the resources we can. We've also going to be reaching out to Office of Emergency Management. They've been helping us quite a bit. Over the weekend, they've been back out with a boat, divers, cadaver dogs. They run sonar. Our boat has sonar. It's the same stuff. People have asked about TBI. It's the same resources they have. So there's not been a need for us to get additional assistance from these other agencies. However, like Mr. Flagg, Cajun Navy, they have that experience. They want to volunteer their time. They've been very gracious in talking with us, saying they're going to help us out. Not a problem at all. But again, if you have a structured organization like United Cajun Navy, you have the safety protocols in place. You have the equipment and the resources to utilize to conduct that search, as well as to make certain everybody's safe doing that. We're going to continue to search. We're still filtering all the Crime Stoppers tips, as Detective Chandler said. I cannot stress enough the volume of information we've gotten. We've had people get frustrated with us because they'll call us, say, on a Monday, and they don't know why we haven't gotten back to them on Monday. And I've had to explain to them, we have to weigh every piece of evidence we get, or information rather, evenly. We can't just jump to the top, because quite honestly, there's a lot of tips that we're getting that are not tips. They mean well, but they're not tips. So we have to prioritize what's actually providing information. And some of the other things I have my detectives doing today is re-canvassing the area for video. And while we don't think Riley may have been in any of these homeless camps away from this area, those are areas that we're going to be working on this afternoon ourselves. In regards to, we've had questions about some of the behind the scenes things we're doing, search warrants, that kind of thing. Please understand it's an open investigation. We cannot share that information with the public because it's an open investigation. It can, if it were to turn into a criminal investigation, well, obviously now we're negatively impacting that situation. So please understand, if you call us and you're asking us questions, there may be some things we cannot answer, and it's to maintain the integrity of the investigation, as well as any potential evidence should there be a criminal component to it. I would also ask, as Mr. Flagg and everybody has, if you have questions for the family, you want to help the family, that's great. But please also respect their privacy. These kinds of incidents that happen, sometimes people with the best of intentions don't know the best way to approach people, and it can cause more stress for the family. So please be mindful of that. What am I missing?
One of the other things I wanted to make sure everybody understood, all the businesses and everybody we have asked for assistance as far as video or any other information, we have had absolute cooperation from everybody involved. There has never been a time to where anyone has had any issue in giving us any other information. To go along with what Mr. Flagg said, I know earlier I said this is not a criminal investigation this time. Should we uncover something that would change that, it's important that we go through one centralized source to where we know we can then change the manner in which we're searching and can start to conduct that in the proper manner. So if you do want to volunteer, we welcome all eyes to come help try to find Riley. But if we stumble across something to where we need to change the direction of the investigation, it is important that it's through one coordinated source and they're able to get the information back to us so we can adjust accordingly.
I think the only thing I would like to add before we open up to questions is, one of the concerns people have called in multiple times about is that he was, Riley was being chased, he was being followed. We have seen no evidence of that. We've been through the video multiple times, and that is the reason why we released that body camera footage, because that officer had an interaction with him, and we've talked to other people that have indicated to us there was no injuries on Mr. Strain when they observed him, and there was no indication that he was running from anything or he was in fear. There's been a lot of misconceptions, a lot of misinformation out there, and we're putting out everything we can to dispel all of those misconceptions. We're happy to answer those questions, but again, people are taking what has already been put out, what the media's put out, and then putting their spin on it, calling back with Crime Stoppers tips that are not actually tips. They're their theory on what happened. We love people calling in and helping us, but we need actionable leads that we can follow up on. So please understand too, when you don't see us, like my detectives out in the field constantly, it's because we're trying to prioritize those tips that we're getting to find what's actually useful information that we can follow up on. Because sometimes we get tips that we can't follow up on. It's just a statement somebody's making. So with that, you got a question, ma'am?
Yes, sir. So the credit card being discovered separated from wherever Riley is and potentially separated from his wallet. Some would say that could potentially go either way. Sure, maybe it just fell out and he didn't even realize, or maybe it was forcefully removed. So how do you decide which it is and which side to lean on, whether missing person versus criminal? Because a lot of folks would say, well, that could certainly indicate, or lay people would say, that could certainly indicate criminal activity.
Once we recovered the card, it was secured and processed properly to where it can be examined as far as going into a criminal matter at a later time if it's so needed.
How does the United Cajun Navy fit into MNPD's command structure?
We pretty much allow our people with the emergency contingency section and USAR to coordinate with them because, you know, we do cold case investigations. We don't handle that part. So our job is typically to get them in touch with them and let them coordinate between the two because they have the knowledge and expertise. They know how to communicate with one another and schedule with each other what they're going to do, how they're going to do it. It would be kind of a moot point for us to step in the middle of that other than to act as a liaison to get them in contact with one another. With one part of our department that handles like the urban search and rescue and the boat searches and everything, we get that unit in contact with Mr. Flag.
So they're coordinating
That's what we plan on because our resources are coming back out this afternoon, and that's kind of our goal is with Mr. Flag here today is get him in touch with the supervisors over in that unit so they can make that coordination.
And then at what point would your office decide to no longer continue the investigation?
Until we have no other actionable leads, but because we work cold case, we continue working it until we just have nothing. And as new information comes in, we continue to pick it right back up and go right back to it. This is not going away. This is not going away anytime soon. And I have detectives that work cold case homicides that are decades old, and we continue to work on those. In fact, one of my detectives has been able to close 2 of them last year. So I say that to say this isn't going away. We keep going until we have absolutely nothing, no new tips, no traces of anything to follow up on. But until that happens, we're still going to be out here doing everything.
How would you describe the actionable leads in front of them?
In what regard?
You said we're going to keep going until we have no action.
Meaning if somebody calls in with a theory, okay, that's one thing. But unless they're giving us information like a name, a location where they saw a suspicious person, thought they saw a piece of an item that belonged to Riley, that doesn't help us. So we have to filter through to look for the things they're saying. Hey, around this time I saw John Doe at this location. He might have been wearing a similar shirt, or maybe he was talking to Riley. That's actionable. That's something we can follow up on. We can look for video cameras in the area. But when they just say, I just saw a homeless guy in the area, that doesn't help us because that's nothing we can follow up on. Does that help?
So enough of those actionable leads are still coming in right
Yes, sir.
now?
Yes, sir. And actually, that's why we were late coming up here is because we've been following up on more of those.
When we last heard from you guys on Thursday, you were still waiting on cell phone and Apple Watch data. Have you received all of that at this point? And if you have, what have you been able to find from it?
At this point right now, what we have originally from Apple is what we're working off of, and all of the location data is what we've already released. So at this point in time, that's the same information we're going to be working off of.
I have a simple question. On the video that I saw, a lot of people were around, and they could have done something to help this lady. Stop it here on Joe. And maybe we should push the Nashville. If you see that happen, don't be afraid to help somebody. I mean, literally, on that video, I saw a lot of people. They saw how drunk that guy was. It could have been stopped. Somebody could have said, "Hey, man, you help. Is it okay?" Especially once you see somebody fall.
You're 100% correct. And unfortunately, that is the state of our society
I know everybody's
today.
scared to help somebody.
And I agree with you 100%. You know, Nashville population, if you see something, say something or do something.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Because I watched that and I'm like, nobody did anything to say, hey, man, this guy shouldn't be walking around.
Right, right.
So,
any other questions?
God bless you guys.
Could you guys say your name and spell it one more time in your title?
I'm Detective Anthony Chandler, Chandler.
I'm Sergeant Robert Nielsen, Nielsen. Metro Nashville Police Department, Cold Case Unit. You had a question, sir?
Could you all just go over again what it is that you say that there's no sign of how they this is not being a criminal investigation at this time? Is it a lack of evidence to the contrary, or do you have other information that suggests that?
Well, right now, it's a lack of any evidence of a crime being committed. A lot of people have come up to us with various items claiming that it's indicative of it. And please understand, as a supervisor, I've been working homicides for 10 years. He's been working them for a long time as a detective. And we're skilled in criminal investigations. What, evidence can be different possibilities, whether physical evidence, whether it's digital evidence or whatever. And if we don't have anything, like we don't at this point, that indicates that there's any indication of foul play, then if we go down that rabbit hole, then we're wasting resources and time from possibly looking for him, because now we're looking for evidence of a crime. And while we're open to the possibility it could be a crime, I mean, obviously there's always that possibility, right? But we haven't seen anything. And just because his bank card was found there, just because somebody heard something, until we have more to shore that up, we can't say that a crime occurred. So as soon as we have anything, if it exists, that indicates a crime occurred, assault or whatever the case may be, we immediately follow up on that. But we have to have evidence or probable cause. And a lot of people don't understand what probable cause is, but we have to have probable cause a crime even occurred. So that's why it's easy to jump to those conclusions. But that's where we have to tell people, this is why we don't do things at an accelerated rate. We have to do things methodically, like Mr. Flagg and his team, they do methodical searches, right? Our urban search and rescue, they do methodical searches, because if we just jump to conclusions every single time, we could actually miss more evidence, whether there was a crime or not, but still evidence of where he'd been or what happened to him. If we're just running all over the place going, oh, a crime happened, but now we're not looking over here anymore. Does that make sense? Does that help?
Has there been any other evidence connected to Mr. Tracy's Sunday?
Not that I'm aware.
In which regard?
As far as physical evidence, is that the only?
No, outside the debit card,
sir.
that's the only physical evidence we have right now.
Oh, and somebody did find a phone, but I just want to put out there, it is not a phone that he had. He had an Apple phone. This was a Google Android phone. So I know that that's been a question that's come up as well. I just want to go ahead and clarify that.
Sorry, you said someone found a phone.
Yes, ma'am. They found it in the vicinity. They brought it to us immediately while we were out there Sunday. We did collect it just because we don't know who it belongs to. Don't know if it is in relation to this case, but right now it's not his phone. We know that because we know he had an Apple phone, Apple Watch. This was a Android device.
They were all on Broadway.
Given that there are so many search areas now, search crews, I'm sorry, that are now participating in this effort, are you positive? How positive are you that Riley is still in this vicinity?
Well, we're not, but we're searching everywhere. Last Friday, we got a call that they thought they saw him up towards the Titans practice field somewhere, and we went out there and looked. So we're not just limited to here, but when we have somebody go missing, you have to start with the last place they were seen. You can't be that you know for a fact that they were seen. You can't just go, well, I thought I saw him over here, because a lot of people think that the video cameras everywhere catches everything, and they don't. We have people claiming there's video across the river, but some of them don't reach this riverbank. So if we start searching over there, but we don't know he was over there, but we know he was on this side of the river, this is going to do us more good, because that's going to allow the people that are trained in doing searches to have a starting point and have more tangible things to look at, as opposed to just going around and speculating which areas he could be. Obviously, if we have something that leads us further down, we will. But right now, that's why the areas that they're focusing on is this immediate area, because we know for a fact that was his last known point of contact with anyone.
We know Riley was asked to leave the bar around 9:35. We've seen subsequent videos, but can you give us a timeline of where he was at on Broadway or other places in the city prior to your science bar?
Prior to that is he was here with his friends enjoying a night on Broadway. Our focus begins when he leaves from that location, and then he starts going up 3rd Avenue to Church Street and proceeds over the Gay Street corridor right below us, because that's where he went missing.
But there was a big question of whether or not he was overserved on Broadway. The Brian's Bar came out and said he had one drink. Were there other bars that he was at that you guys are looking into on whether or not he was overserved?
We're pulling video surveillance from every location that we're aware that he was at. As far as this time right now, like I said, our focus is on locating Riley. Anything subsequent from that will be followed up once we've concluded that part.
And unfortunately, we're going to have to kind of end it there for us. We have some follow-ups we have to do right now, but our PIO office will definitely be putting out more information as we get it. The family, we've been in contact with them and updating them as soon as we can. So appreciate your time. And if you have any other questions in the meantime for our department, please focus them to our PIO for today. Thank you. No problem. Thank you, Mr. Flag. Yes, sir.
All right. So that is
Just
that.
real quick, I wanted to tag on to a question that was asked about the Cajun Navy's relationship with MNPD, and it's a cooperative relationship. We're not under their command; they're not under our command. However, we do defer to them first. We don't take any significant actions without checking with Detective Chandler first. Got two young ladies here who have been doing some extensive searching. These are the young ladies that found Riley's debit card. We're not going to use names. We're going to just let them be anonymous. But they have some suggestions and some information for other potential searchers.
I guess hi. I guess the most important thing that we want to make sure everybody knows when you are joining us to search is I have layers under these jeans. I have boots. We have masks because when you are moving stuff, there is stuff flying everywhere. You have to have gloves with grips. There will be rocks falling. So you have to be very careful. If you want to wear a helmet, that's something we really might suggest. We haven't done it. It's very difficult to go down this embankment, but it's extremely possible, especially if you're able. You're just going to have to be very careful with your footing. And we really, really recommend gripped gloves because we have been using that to grab onto branches to either bring ourselves back up or to move around. Once you get down there, you are going to be walking across the river on rocks, and they are wobbly. And as we said, there's other rocks that will be falling down. Be very, very careful and do not go alone. I did not go until she came with me because we knew that it would be very dangerous if something happened. Nobody would be able to find me then. It's very, very hard to actually hear each other down there too. Even if we're just like 15, 20 feet away, I can yell to her and it's hard to hear. I guess if you guys have any questions, I can answer it, but that's about all I have to say at the moment. Perfect.
Thank you, ladies.
Yes.
All right, that's, I think, pretty much all we have, unless there are other questions. Okay, once again, yes, sir.
You know, for volunteer purposes, how much of the area has been grid searched? Was it grid searched by law enforcement from the standpoint of where the ID was found? So maybe everybody's not duplicating going down the same bank. Do you know if that's been done?
I don't know if MNPD has done a grid search. To my knowledge, none of the volunteers have done that. And it's, again, going to be very, very challenging to do any kind of grid search in that terrain. We are going to try to do something that approaches a grid search, but all I can tell you is going to be is the best we can do. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
What is the best way to sign up to search?
I would go to www.unitedcajunnavy.org or send an email to info@unitedcajunnavy.org. That comes, both of those come to me. All right. Anything else? All right. Once again, I just want to thank everybody, the whole community, the online community, all the volunteer searchers that have been involved in this. You know, you folks are going to be the ones potentially that break this case open. So keep on doing what you're doing. Keep your eyes open. Keep your ears open. If you see something, say something. And again, once we figure out when we're going to do this organized search, we will let the media outlets know, and they can push that information out for us. All right? Okay, thanks again.
Okay, so that's the end of that one, you guys. Let's keep it classy here in the chat, you guys. We're going to be going to maps in a minute, but I just want to finish this here, what we were looking at. Okay, looks like we're going to have to start it back all over. I don't mind because it's getting it out there. So let's share the screen. I had to remember to share the audio too. So before the presser, and the only thing I felt was off with that Navy guy was when he said, if you have any tips, any information, come to us. No, go to the police. This guy is not a cop anymore. I just heard the cop say we're working hand in hand. That's fine. To me, all tips, all evidence, anything goes to the police, not any citizen. To the police, period. Number two, somebody in the chat. Do you know how DNA works? I worked in criminal law for over 30 years. I'm 60 years old now. I've seen it all. So yes, I understand how DNA works. Another thing was the TikTokers. God bless them, because for 9 days, people have been out there searching and have not found a thing. They found something. When that card was picked up, no matter who it was that picked it up, had gloves on. If we go back to the Barry Morphew case, officers, cops that were still working as cops picked up Suzanne's bike with no gloves on, went through her house with no gloves on. At least these TikTokers knew better. So kudos to them, shout outs to them. I wish I knew who they were because I'd be blasting their names. Does social media sometimes hinder? Yes. But you know what? Sometimes it helps. So I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. If it helps, it helps. Any help is help. And these TikTokers found more in one outing searching than all of law enforcement, all of these Navy guys. Nobody else found anything because they don't want to go down and get dirty. In this case, these girls had ropes tied around their waists, scaling down the side of where he was last seen, where that last ping was, because we didn't have this video that we're about to watch. We didn't have that at that time. All we had was a ping near that bridge, and they scaled the side of that all along there till they found something, and they did. And I got to commend them for that. We're going to let that go because I don't want people getting all up in their panties in a knot. And homeless people, there's some good homeless people. I know people from my hometown in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, that are millwrights that are living in tents because the price of housing has gone so through the roof, they can't afford it anymore. Or during COVID, they lost their homes, lost jobs, and can't afford it. There's some good people too that are homeless. Not all homeless are bad people. Are there a lot? Yes. Due to mental health issues, addiction issues. Yes. Even some people that have addiction issues are good-hearted people. It doesn't mean they are bad because they have an addiction. I know clients we've had that were living under bridges in Hamilton that were addicts in and out of the court system. Like, it's like if we didn't see them at least once a week in the courtroom, we didn't see them at all. And yet these people would give you the shirt off their back, but they were addicts. So you can't paint everybody with the same brush. So let's keep that in mind. Let's keep that in mind. They are some of the most vulnerable people in our communities, whether you're in the US, Canada, the UK, South Africa, I don't care where you are. The homeless are some of the most vulnerable. Are there some bad ones? Absolutely. And you know what? There's some good people in law enforcement and there's bad people in law enforcement. There's good people in the government and there's bad people in the government. There's good and bad no matter what you look at. So to just specify homeless, no, don't paint everybody with the same brush. That irritates me to no end. So let's get back to facts. So this is the body cam footage. The cop was in the area, okay? At this point of time that the cop was in this area, there was no missing person, no description, nothing of Riley. Riley was not on the police radar at this point. A lot of people are saying, why didn't this cop do something with Riley? They didn't know at this point of this video or any of the other videos we've seen that he was missing. He wasn't reported missing until the next following night. So please stop it. Stop it. The cop was called to this area because this truck had somebody called in saying that they seen somebody break out the window on this truck. Okay. That's why he was in the area. Thank God, again, just like the TikTokers, this cop was in the right place at the right time and caught Riley on his body cam. Okay. A lot of people are saying that this is Riley down here. Down here. Okay. Riley hasn't even come up yet. Riley right now is way behind where this truck is parked. Way behind. He hasn't even come into this area yet. And we can see that that's there. That's not Riley. This is the window that was broken out. That's why the cop was there. Somebody called in and said there's a smash and grab going on. The cops go there. They check it out. They find this red truck. What happens after that is, and I'm going to give you some more information that I got. The cop was in the area for 45 minutes. Okay. So the cop gets to the area. He sees the broken window. Whatever he does, he does. He sees Riley. He's still in that area for another 40 minutes, this cop. That's what's being reported by the police, that cop was in that area for 45 minutes total. Okay. So a good half an hour to 40 minutes, he was still there after Riley passes by. He didn't hear anything. Now, we just heard from that one lady there. She says it's very hard to hear anything down there, right? But when he sees the cop, Riley says, hey, or hi. The cop says, hi, how you doing? And he says, I'm good. How are you? And the cop says, good. Give it 2 seconds, and then you hear somebody say something else. And I believe that it's something party. Like, where's the party? This, the party? Something party is what I hear. So I'm going to ask you guys again, crank up your earbuds and let's listen to this. Now, I'm not talking about the interaction between the cop and Riley. I'm talking about once Riley says, when the cop says, how are you? He says, I'm good, thanks. How are you? And the cop says, good. Give it 2 seconds and you can hear Riley say something. And I believe it's something party.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Hear that? I'm going to play it again. Another thing I want to mention while we're watching this, okay? Watch Riley walking. He's not stumbling anymore, nothing. So this is my experience. When people are drunk, the only way you sober up faster is either sleeping it off or throwing up. Okay. We don't know if he threw up along the way. Nothing. We don't know nothing for certain. Okay. But in this here, this is after he leaves the bar, after he's bumping up against that wall, after he falls in that parking lot. That's way back over here somewhere. He comes from there and he walks all the way down here. We're going to go to maps and we're going to check it out. Okay. But watch how he's walking. He's not stumbling. He looks like he's walking straight. His voice sounds like he's not slurring his words. Nothing. Nana says it sounds like maybe he said, "Where's the car?" I believe that he was going to purchase something for maybe partying with these new people he met or something. I don't know. We don't know. But like I said, his bank card, his mom had bought him this special wallet that you stick your cards in. So the black magnetic thing on the back doesn't get swiped or ruined or demagnetized or anything like that. And it's very hard to get it out of there. So either he took it out or somebody took it out. And in this video here, as you see him walking, I'm going to pause it because you see him still wearing his Apple Watch. So whatever happened to him, his Apple Watch is still on him right now. RDF blocker, yes, that's it. And it was very hard to pull it out of that little wallet thing, the mother said. Okay, so let's watch. Listen again after the cop says good. Because here's Riley right here. He's coming. Watch.
How you doing, sir?
See, he has his watch on his wrist right there. He has his watch on. I got a better shot of it the last time. But he has his watch on. So the cop says, "How are you doing, sir?" Riley says, "I'm good. How are you?" The cop says, "Good." Then listen to 2 seconds past that, okay?
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
That could be. It could be car. But he says something to somebody. He's walking this way, okay? It's almost like he's walking towards that homeless camp. We're going to go to maps. Watch when the cop turns around. He's gone already. The cop's looking to see if there's any more broken windows. Look, Riley is nowhere to be seen. Everybody's saying, "That's Riley down there." We already seen that down there was already something before Riley even came down here. Okay? That's not Riley. I think he went to that camp thing that's right here. He obviously spoke to somebody. He spoke to somebody. He said something. Okay? So, let's get out of this video and let's go to maps. Settings. Whoops. Not settings. Share screen. All right. So you see this here? This is where he was walking, is right here. Let's go down to Street View. I'm going to show you. We know it's here because we see this here. We see this here. Now, this is from 2022. People have photos of this area recently, which shows that thing over there. Okay, because everybody's saying, that's Riley by the bridge. No, it wasn't. He went down here somewhere. He went right down here somewhere. Now, even if he would have fallen, which to me, he was walking pretty steady on his feet. He was talking pretty clear and coherent. He went down here somewhere. Okay, now I'm going to show you what happens here because this isn't a drop. This slowly goes downwards like this on the other side of this wall. It goes on a downward slope like this. And then there's tents and everything down there. We've seen that in the other photos, right? Where I showed you them photos and I said, don't forget about these photos where the camps were set up. There was one at one level here and then a drop of about 3 feet and another camp set up down there. Okay. He spoke to somebody as he was going down here. He was walking right here. The cop was here. The truck was the third spot. 1, 2, 3. So the truck was right here. The cop was standing here. Let's go up there. Let's get a better look. Oh, we got to go up a little bit more. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. The truck was parked here. Riley was walking this way. And you see this little path here? He was going down here, I believe. And like I said, in the updated pictures, you see something here. There's some kind of sign or whatever. Somebody's got a picture of it. He went down in here somewhere, you guys. Down underneath this bridge, it's a huge flat area. Okay? Where all the camps, there was camps and everything with tents and everything on at least 2 different levels before you got anywhere near the water. So if he would have fallen, he would have fallen into either this brush, somebody's tent, somebody's belongings. There's no way. His bank card was found over here. The second bridge. Oh, where did I go? Hang on. There, his bank card was found here. Where the cop was talking to Riley was over here. And don't forget, all under here, it's all tents, a level of tents here. And then down here, there's another level. And then there's another drop. And then it's like big, huge rocks and then the river. There's camps all under these bridges. The bank card was found under here. So even if he would have fell over here, how did his bank card get over here? And what they're saying is the bank card looked clean. There was a leaf or 2 on it, but there was no dirt. If it had been out there for 8, 9 days, it would have been dirty. Like it had rained and everything else. It would have been dirty. Somebody threw it there. Somebody threw it there. Birds. So glad to catch you live today. Glad you're here. So this is what I mean. You see this here, you guys? See this down here? This is what I mean by the different levels. We're going to zoom in on this. Let me just get back here out of street view. So here's that wall here. See how this goes down a level? See how this is going downwards? There's another level here. This is another ledge. Let's go look at that. Let's get out of street view. Let's turn this around. And this is, I'm showing you this for a reason. See the different levels? See the different levels? See this here? It's on a flat piece of land here, this building. Dilapidated, ready to fall down. Yes, probably not in use anymore. But here's street level. Look at how far down this ledge is. That's the second ledge. This is the first ledge that runs the whole length underneath here. There's a ledge here where people camp, and then there's a ledge farther down which would be equal with where this building here is sitting on solid ground. Then there's another drop, and there's another drop. This is where the building is on flat land. Then there's another drop with all these rocks and everything down here. If he would have fallen over, he would have had to fall onto this ledge, fall down onto this ledge, fall down here, roll through all these trees, roll over all these rocks and into the river. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. See the difference there? See the different levels? See the different levels where this building is sitting on ground here? This one is up a bit more. I know it's kind of hard to, oh my gosh, what did I do? I went into the water. We all just got wet. There was a building here on one level. Then there's another building down on another level. And those levels run right across there. Let me see if I can get this again. I tried to get it already. Whoops, wrong bridge. Oh, you can kind of see it under the bridge there. Let me see. See how under the bridge, people can live under the bridge. There's a level here. And then this part of there's another level here that runs along here. That's where that building is sitting on. But there was another spot that really showed it really good. There, I think it's this. See the level here? That's all rock under the bridge. Then there's another level. Then there's a drop. And then there's, like, he would have had to have been Houdini to fall through there and fall into the river. And here you can see, this is where homeless camps are set up in these somewhat clearings here. Here's a street level. There's a level here. There's a level here. And then there's a drop that goes down. And see, you can basically see this tree used to stand up right here. There's other trees up here that are up on a different level. There's different levels here, you guys, before. So he'd have to fall through all this tree and brush. Look at how big these rocks are. So here's that wall. You'd have to fall down to this level, fall down to this level, then fall down here and stumble across all these trees and brush and rock. No. Yeah, you can see the levels because yes, who just said that? Thank you, Melmac. At the different heights of the trees. That's because there's different levels of ground here. I'm trying to see if there was another spot that showed. Where was? Oh, right here. See this? You fall. It's about a 4 to 5 foot drop. And there's a level right here. This is all rock. And then there's another level here because here's the top of the trees reaching this level. That's all rock there, you guys. I'm trying to scroll in as much as I can. And this follows all the way along. You see it here. It's almost like a trail coming from here. It goes all the way across. And then you see these trees on a different level. This is a different level. And then look at down here. Then there's another drop down to these rocks. See here the different levels? So, and here it even looks shallow, like you can see the dirt. It looks like it gets really deep pretty quick from the shore. But to fall down through all of this and then over rock, down 2 levels, down here, roll over the rocks, there's no way. There's no way. There is no way, in my opinion. The Roper says, I feel like he's tucked away somewhere. I think they've done something with him. Whether that be they're keeping him against his will somewhere. But I do believe that they turned his watch off. Did they make him walk along this route? And his card was found down in here. Sorry for the coffee, guys. Because somebody screams, I found his bank card. And they're walking along like an open, flat area. The one girl. And she says, oh my God, I found his bank card. That was over here somewhere. Maybe even under the bridge. But you can clearly see that there's different levels here because this is the base of this building. So there's a level here, and then a little bit of land and a drop down again, down to here. And this building up here was on even a different level. And that is right by the road. So there's 2 levels here. And his card was found somewhere down in here. Because they were saying it was right by the bridge. So right down in this area here somewhere. So I believe that somebody did do something to him. You know, he's walking along and he finds some people, he sees some people, and it's like, yeah, I got money, I can get. I don't know if they could order like an Uber to bring them stuff there. I don't know if an Uber would. Or could they take an Uber somewhere to go and get alcohol or something else? And he's flashing his card around and they do something? We don't know. But this is the last sighting of him, is right here. He goes down into here. There's no sighting on any cameras of him coming over here, over here. There's no sightings of him crossing anywhere. It ends here. It ends here. I cannot leave this spot unless somebody shows me, like, does somebody have other video that was driving, have dash cam that sees him go past here? If not, is there any other camera that picks him up? If not, I have not left this area. And if they leave this area, do they leave walking back through the underbrush? Do they do something to him and toss him in the river? We don't know. Do they've got him hidden somewhere? Could they have possibly told him, hey, the cops are looking for you. We'll hide you out. Stay quiet. Give it a couple weeks. We don't know. Anything right now is possible. Anything. But I have not left this area. This is the last sighting by that officer. I can't leave this area. People are saying, oh, you know, they took him to a scrapyard. They did this. I am not leaving this area because there is no sightings on any cameras of him ever leaving this area. Could they have, those homeless people know where the cameras are. Could they have maybe waited for a while and took him up somewhere where a camera wouldn't see them and put him in a car and take off with them somewhere? It's possible. I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibilities. Could they have robbed him and thrown him in the river? It's not out of the realms of possibilities. Could they still have him kept somewhere here, hidden? It's not out of the realm of possibilities. But I have not left this area. What do you guys think? The thing is, without him, that card is no good to anybody because they'd need the PIN. And if they took the card from him, why would they just take it to throw it? We don't know. We don't know. Anything that you hear about anything that happened after this is speculation, and I don't do it here. Anything could have happened. So if somebody says, oh yeah, he was put in a car. No, he wasn't. To me, no, he wasn't, because there's no proof of it. To me, I have not left this area. My intuition, you guys know, is good. Whatever has happened to Riley, whether he is still alive or he is deceased, it happened here. I cannot leave this area because there's nothing telling me he left this area. This is his last sighting. His bank card found. Some say his shirt was found. I haven't heard police say that, but there was a woman that was going to help feed the homeless, and she said that she's seen somebody wearing his shirt. I don't know if that is true or not. I have not been able to verify it. I've heard the stories, but I have not been able to verify it. So I have to say right now, is it true? It could be, and it could be not. They could be holding him up. I believe that if they've robbed him, that Apple Watch and phone will probably be kept shut off for some time in hopes that they'll find him, blah, 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 and they'll forget about the Apple Watch and the phone. And then they'll try to either pawn it or sell it to somebody. Right? If he was robbed for his Apple Watch and phone. But we just don't know. I cannot leave this area. Even though his bank card was found over here, he's not going to throw his bank card. That's his only access to money, right? If he plans on going back to the hotel at some point, he's going to need that card to get food and everything else. He didn't throw it there. Somebody else did. How did somebody get that card? We're back here. Something happened here. There is no more video showing him ever being in any of these areas here, like over here. Because apparently there's other cameras. He is not picked up by camera on any video in this area. And if he was last seen walking this way, he would have had to come out somewhere along here at some point in time. Because down here, this is all cameras. Like, look at how close that is to the water. They've got cameras that would have caught him. So he has not left this area unless one of these homeless people have a buddy with a car or something that says, bring your car, and we'll bring him out and under the bridge and get him in the car where nobody can see him under the car. That's the only way that they could get him out of there alive or deceased to bring him somewhere else. Or he's in the river. Or he is still down here somewhere alive. My Ancestor read told me at the time of that reading, he was still alive. I see no indication of him being deceased. So I'm going to do updated reads on this case. And we'll see where we go with it. But until we get verified information, you guys, of something, I have not left this area. Whatever happened to Riley happened right here. In my opinion. So with that being said, I'm going to thank everybody who donated today. Thank you so much for your super chat, super stickers. I appreciate it very much. It allows me to continue to jump on like this when something happens, go through all this with you, talk with you guys about it, get your guys' ideas. Terra Destiny says they jumped him. That's what I think too. Daniel, you're very welcome. Thank you for being here. Yes, but they're going to be pretty tight-lipped because don't forget, they're homeless for a reason, whether that be by choice or by other reasons. They're a pretty tight-knit group. And if they're homeless, I don't think a lot of homeless people are going to speak because they've got to live there, right? If you rat somebody out for doing something that they shouldn't have done, you could pretty much have a target on your back. Is there somebody down there that they could offer protection to if they know something? That would be great. That would be awesome. some kind of protection, some kind of housing, get them out of the area, get them into safe housing. Maybe somebody would talk. You're very welcome, fam. Denali, good to see you. Always good to see you. Lady D, you're very welcome. Fruit Fly, you're very welcome. You too, Nana. Big hugs, Nana. Marie, big hugs. Love you too, my sister. Okay, so with that being said, you guys, we're going to wrap it up. And I'm going to say it like I always do. Please be careful out there. Always be aware of your surroundings. Never leave a friend behind. And Nana, right here, says it the best. Nana, WWG1WGA. If you don't know what that means, it's where we go one, we go all. Never leave your friend behind. Never. Never. I love that name for you, Nana. Where we go one, we go all. It's been a really difficult week for a lot of people, and I hope your week gets better, Denali, if you're having a bad week too. Exactly. You never leave your friend behind. I don't care. I would have grabbed another buddy and said, come on, let's go. We got to walk him back. Make sure he gets back to the motel room okay. And then if you want to go back and drink, go back and drink. But make sure your buddy gets back to the... You guys aren't even from Tennessee. Make sure he gets back to the room safe. Go back to the bar and drink more if you want. It was only a couple blocks away. Is somebody's life not worth that? Somebody also jumped on me in the comments saying, how dare you accuse the bar? Blah, blah, blah. Well, in a way, the bar, if they evicting him, okay. Throwing him out, okay. But if he was that intoxicated to throw his ass out of the bar, and obviously not from Tennessee, why didn't you call him an Uber? Why didn't you insist on one of his friends calling him an Uber? If you serve him, even if they would have served him, even if he got totaled at a bar before, these are the laws in Canada. You walk into my bar, you're drunk, I serve you another drink, I'm now responsible for your safety. If I let you leave my bar after serving you even one drink, knowing you're intoxicated, I let you leave my bar, you walk out in the street and get hit by a car, guess who's getting sued? Me. The bar owner, me. That's the law in Canada. You are responsible if you serve that person a drink that's already intoxicated. You are, well, kiss your ass goodbye. Kiss your ass goodbye. Somebody walks in, like I remember I worked when I was going through college and everything, and I worked in a friend of the family's bar. That was the first thing I was told. If somebody walks in and they look like they're tipsy, and you don't serve them. You do not serve them. And it was sad sometimes because somebody could have only had a couple drinks and they got their friends there and okay, yeah, I just want one more drink and I'm going to go home. I couldn't serve you. Because if I see you walk in and you're already tipsy, maybe not fall down drunk, but you're tipsy, I can't serve you another drink. Because once I serve you that drink, the other bar that person got drunk on is now in the clear because now I've given you more alcohol and then I've thrown you out of my bar or let you leave my bar without calling you an Uber or a taxi. Or making sure somebody is leaving with you that's responsible, I'm on the hook for your safety. It's the last person who served you who's on the hook. If they don't make sure and they see that you're drunk, you can't just say, okay, you're drunk, out you go. Anyway, my girl dog started having seizures nonstop. Oh, Denali, big hugs for you, my friend. I had to do similar with mine. I spent over $10,000 trying to save her life, and 3 bouts of cancer treatment. And then she started with the seizures. And when they have the seizures, they release all their bowels and everything. And she was just suffering, and I had to have her put down too. Even after all that money, it couldn't save her. So it just goes to show you guys, money doesn't cure everything. So my heart goes out to you, because I know that feeling. That was 5 years ago, and I'm still not recovered from it. So my heart goes out to you, my dear. Big hugs. I wish I could give you a big hug right now. So with that being said, you guys, please take care of yourselves. Please stay safe. Always be aware of your surroundings. I love you guys to the moon and back. Thank you, mods, for doing an awesome job. Thank you all for coming, going over this with us. Let's pray for Riley. Until the next time, bye-bye.